Our third speaker this evening, Navraj Sran, the F word. The F word, Navraj Sran.
I was so nervous that my hands were trembling. I was sitting in front of my coach moments before the final championship fight of the tournament. It was the year 2011, and I was fighting in the ringside World Boxing Championship tournament being held in Kansas City, Missouri. My coach could see the fear in my eyes all day, and he finally asked me, Nav, do you want to fight? I don't know, I replied. My coach looked at me dead in the eyes and said, Nav, that is not an answer. You're not fighting. And he started taking off my hand wraps. I stopped him. No, hold on. I'm going to fight. I will fight. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, guests, worthy competitors, esteemed judges. Years later, the day I finally quit boxing, I felt free. The days leading up to my fights would be unbearable. My mind racing. I mean, what if I get tired? Or what if I just get completely outclassed? How embarrassing that would be. These kind of thoughts made it impossible for me to focus on school. I was tired of living in this constant state of fear and stress. And what did I do? I quit. I started running from my fear. But unfortunately, life does not exist without our fears. There I was, a boxer who had stepped foot inside of the ring with some of the most fearsome competition in all of North America. Yet when that cute, harmless girl that I actually liked looked my way, I couldn't look her in the eyes because I was gripped by that same fear of humiliation and judgment that I was running from. You see, fear of humiliation and judgment is one of the fears that I feel like is holding me back. But everybody is different. The real question is, what fear do you think is holding you back the most? Is it a fear of humiliation and judgment like me? Or maybe it's something like a fear of failure, a fear of not being good enough, of making mistakes, or feeling some sort of pain. Well, there's a common thread between all these types of fear, and it is these fears are a fabrication, a fairy tale, a fight or flight response to an imaginary threat. Because judgment will not kill you. Failure will not kill you. In fact, some of the most successful people have probably failed more times than you and I have even tried. Some of the most socially free people humiliate themselves every single day. That's why we need to embrace our fears. Our fears hold chaos, the unknown. a foreign landscape where we might make some sort of mistake or feel some sort of pain. But within that chaos, there exists potential. Potential for a better future. Potential for new skills, for new relationships, for new experiences. Potential for new horizons. That's why fear is a necessary ingredient to a meaningful life. When I came to this realization, I started doing all the things that I felt I was too scared to do. I ended up going back to boxing to face that very fear that I felt had started it all. I continue to embrace the fear, and I'm asking you to do the same. Whether that's entering some sort of competition like this Toastmasters speaking competition, or building up the guts to talk to that girl or guy that you really like, or pursuing that new career or business idea, ladies and gentlemen, let's march forward into our fears. Nelson Mandela served 27 years in prison for his political activism against racial segregation in South Africa. He served his sentence, went on to become the first Black president of South Africa, and he abolished the very same racial practices that he went to prison for fighting against. This extraordinary man said it best when he said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Back to you, contest chair.